Hello beautifuls, this is Aromie here, and welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon. I feel like yesterday's episode was quite of an unnecessary one, because Bria is a cheater! I make my way over to the nearby fountain and crouch beside it to keep out of their view. Ninja mode right now. I can hear the conversation just barely from where I sit. How? Isn't the fountain loud? Every time I'm near a fountain, it's awfully loud. You know, I'd been searching for you for a long time. When I saw you, you suddenly disappeared from the house one night and I couldn't find you. Why? Why did I leave the house? I don't know. You do know. Was it a fight? No, not a fight. We barely ever fought. We made a promise when you gave me this ring. We promised we would never make each other sad. I close my eyes and breathe. Bria's words drive a bitterness through my heart after everything I heard. It is possible those rumors were baseless, but isn't it also possible that they were the truth? And Rumpel mentioned a fight. Now is my chance to tell him. Ooh, I don't think we should step in. Interrupt? Well, we interrupted last time defending him, but let's reconsider. Maybe. But if somehow everything that we heard was one big lie, would I hurt Rumpel? I also have my pride. I cannot just accuse someone, even if I feel that Bria is guilty of something. I step away from the fountain, meaning to head back the way that I came. Even if the situation sounds wrong, I feel that Rumpel would hate me getting involved. I'm surprised then when he calls my name. Princess? Okay, I was right! Yes! What are you doing here? He saw me. Did he know I was behind the fountain? Sparring, are we? Yeah, I got some beef with you. I make my way over to the table where Rumpel is looking at me with worry, and Bria is openly scowling at me. Is there something wrong, Miss Partner? Not with me, but perhaps with you. Ooh, excuse me? You seem to have quite the reputation. Princess. I have no idea what you're talking about, but taking people's word at face value is foolish. Mother would have said the same thing, but why would they lie? So it is not true that you were seeing another man. How dare you? Bria stands up and glares at me. I frown back at her. Her anger does not faze me. She seems like a petulant child. I can't stand jealous girls. They are the bane of my existence. And you're what, 18? 17? But what does that even matter? Either way, there'd just be about a 6-year gap between you two. Okay, and? Oh my god, Rumpel's face. Wait, there's 6-year gap, so 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So he's 24 and I'm 17. Not legal yet, but you know. He's 26, but he doesn't know I'm 17. Okay. 24? Wait, what? She just said 6. I can't. Oh wait, I was right. 24. Gods, and I'm really. Am I really so ancient? The two of us look at him in unison, back at each other. I'm here because I want to help my partner, and because you're lying to him. And who are you to say that I'm lying? You're a terrible little spy, is what you are. Hiding places to watch us, going around town asking about me. Technically, I didn't ask, Waltz did. I'm telling you now that Rumpel doesn't need you, especially if you're the one spewing lies. Those words have no weight coming from a hypocrite. Wait, ladies! Rumpel looks between the two of us, eyebrows furrowed, then he shakes his head. Wait, how old was Claude? Bria, I knew. It was in my journal. What? Rumpel faces Bria, his expression crumpled. It was that lord, wasn't it? The one I refused to take money from that one time I helped him. He told me himself. I think that's why this feeling inside of me is so mute right now. Why I was always having second thoughts about your stories. Bria, why didn't you ever tell me you were seeing him? I asked you that question back then too, but you never told me. And so I was waiting for you to bring it up again. I was waiting for you to explain. I was waiting for... as if I could ever get anything through that thick skull of yours. Even I cannot stop myself from staring at her when she insults Rumpel, but with this she has admitted that the rumors are true. Even if I explained myself, all you would ever say was that you were sorry, but nothing ever changed. What did I do that was so wrong? Look at you. Even now you can't bring yourself to be angry at me. You knew the truth, and instead of demanding to know why I did what I did, you keep asking what you did wrong. But you never realized what you did wrong, Rumpel. Never. Some things never change. Bria scowls as she makes her way around the table. Rumpel tries to call her back, but Bria only frowns as she walks off. Rumpel lets out a long sigh. And there go all of my journals too. Right, he said that Bria had all his old journals. I'm sorry. Huh? I only made things worse. I'm still not entirely sure what they were talking about, but... Princess, you don't have to apologize for anything. So... I would like you to apologize for shedding some light on my age. What? Am I really truly that old? Suddenly, he looks disgruntled, but the look of distraught on his face is almost comical. I cannot help it when I smile and then start to laugh. Do my ears deceive me? Is that wonderful sound coming from your mouth, princess? How precious. It's just, you're an old man. If I'm an old man, then I'm young at heart. Besides, I would be a lot more offended if you weren't smiling while you said that. After a few moments, Rumpel sighs and shakes his head. I'm sorry you had to see all that. I knew there was more to the story than Bria was letting on because I read the memory in my journal. You knew about the nobleman. Why did you not say anything? Like I said, I was waiting for her to say something. I wanted her to open up about it honestly. Bria is undoubtedly bold, but I doubt she is at all honest. The journal entry, I never read it to you. You have been distant the last week. I have been, and I'm sorry for that. But allow me to enlighten you. Rumpel gestures to the chair that Bria had been sitting in, and I take a seat opposite him. First, the nobleman was one of my patients. He had a grievous sickness, one that no one else had been able to cure. I cannot help but remember that the little boy with the impossible sickness, it seemed he was drawn to Rumpel too. Rumpel was not able to help that boy on his own either. Some woman offered her assistance. She managed to cure him with the help of that same woman? It's another cryptic entry, but yes, the mysterious woman from the first entry reappears. We strike another deal, but I cannot remember the deal at all. All I know is that afterwards I did something to make Bria hate me, and she began seeing the nobleman. Nobleman? Or maybe it was before that. Maybe she was just unhappy. She won't explain why. She still cheated on you. That is her fault, not yours. What? Because the trade in Rumpelstiltskin was the lady had to give away her first child. So what if he had to give away his first love, which was Bria? Rumpel nods absently. I can tell he's not convinced. In any case, even though I can't remember the entirety of what happened, every time I thought of Bria, I thought of our love in the past tense. Rumpel frowns, but it is fleeting. Suddenly he is smiling again. Let's head back for now, princess. I'll figure out how to reach Bria later. I follow Rumpel back to the margin, though he seems fine for a time. Rumpel's somberness returns as we head back. It looks like he is trapped in his thoughts. He needs the rest of his journals, but how is he going to get a hold of them now? Oh, princess, you're here. Sorry we're late. My, the princess is gracing us with her presence? Parfait said a few days ago that she had something to discuss with me, so I'm here. Then let's get right to it, shall we? She plops down on one of the chairs and Parfait sits down gracefully beside her. Princess, the other day you asked me about my responsibility, and briefly about the Tenebrarum barrier. I did, but what does this have to do with me? It has everything to do with you, because when it comes to that second inquiry, the answer is right here. Delora points at me. I stare at her, not comprehending. Princess, the barrier to the Crystallum Tenebrarium is you. What? I'm not able to even feel shock, just confusion. But how do I have anything to do with these crystals? See, I told you should be confused. It's because we started backwards. I'm so sorry, princess. I don't understand. You remember the story of the crystals, princess. For a time, the crystals were in complete balance. Even the witches who drew on negative energy were respected. Then one day, Hans wrote the fairy tales. Witches were suddenly painted as villains. Humans attacked the witches, trying to drive them out. Their leader, who just so happened to be my best friend, was hard-pressed to try to keep the peace. She was the original barrier of the crystal. As witches were killed and thrown out, she found her patience wearing thin. She killed a human, the ultimate taboo, and there was nothing we could do but try to stop her. This barrier, the leader of the witches and barrier of the Crystallum Tenebrarium, is someone you know, or someone you knew. She erased all your memories, made you think that fairy tales were evil, that humans were terrible. I feel something dark staring inside of me. Its sharp pain cuts through my heart, making it hard to breathe. The previous bearer of the crystal was your mother, Princess. Hildyr, the leader of the witches. That is impossible. Mother was not a witch. But she was, the strongest of us all. When she died, she kept some of her power sealed within the crystal, which is why it still allows the fairy tale curse to be spread. What kind of lie is this? I didn't use magic, and Mother never told me that she was a witch. She would have told me. It sounds like it, doesn't it? But I assure you, Princess, we wouldn't ever lie to you about something like this. As impossible as it seems, you are a witch. Your power won't manifest until you're 18, and at that time, you will inherit control of the crystal. Since your birthday is soon, this was the last chance we had to teach you goodness. They're cutting it close. Your mother's been shielding you from it for so long. We trust that you were different from her, and you are. Your mother was the only one that ever loved me. She stole away your memories and made you hate the world. Delora! She was fostering hatred in you, making you just like her. You don't know anything about Mother. I stand up, rage coiling up inside of me like a snake. Ichiko, I know a lot about her, more than you ever will. Okay. No. The truth is hard, Princess, but eventually we all have to face it. Hildyr was my beloved friend. Facing her was the hardest thing I have ever done. We only want to help you. Well, you're not very good at it. I turned on my heels and stormed out of the room. I feel that there was more to what Delora and Parfait wanted to say to me, but I cannot stand here right now. I walk into the clearing and sit against a tree, fiercely rubbing at my eyes as I try to clear my dangerously watery eyes. Showing emotion is weak. I sit there for a long time in the clearing, trying to calm myself. My thoughts spin wildly out of control. Princess? I see him out of the corner of my eye, standing between two trees, his eyebrows knit together with worry. What? Wait, what? What? You were listening? Listening? No, I just came to look for you in your room, and when I came downstairs, Parfait told me you had run out into the forest. May I sit next to you? I say nothing as he walks over to me. He sits down beside me, his hands resting on his knees as he looks up at the canopies of the trees. Thank you for today, Princess, for coming after me trying to make things right. I'm not in the mood to talk about this right now. My thoughts are too scrambled. Sometimes truths are hard. How do you know it was the truth? A feeling. Trusting people is hard sometimes, I understand. He looks at me and his eyes seem to glimmer softly in the moonlight. Would you like someone to listen to your problems, Princess? Well, of course, but I'm sure I'm supposed to be like, no. Where do I... Okay, this... Rumpel, okay. I want to talk to him, though. I rub up my eyes as Rumpel looks at me with a quiet smile. He could be talking about his own problems, but instead he is trying to comfort me. Parfait and Delora told me about something they were keeping hidden from me. It told me something about Mother, and it does not make any sense to me because everything that they are saying makes her a villain. Even villains are often misunderstood or have trying circumstances. Rumpel slowly reaches out to rest his hand on top of mine. I sit up straight and stare at him, my eyes wide. Rumpel smiles at me, a slow, soft smile that crinkles the edges of his eyes. Seeing such a beautiful lady close to tears makes my heart break, you know? But if you ever need to cry, you should. Tears aren't weakness, they're just a form of expression, and even the strongest of us cry. I'm not going to cry. My mind reels and starts to feel fuzzy. Definitely the Ice Princess. The title startles me out of my thoughts. I stare at him pointedly, beginning to grimace, but Rumpel just smiles. I always thought it was a delicate name, suitable for a strong and beautiful woman. Seeing you like this, it makes me realize that the name suits you. Perhaps if everyone else meant it that way, it would not be so terrible a title. Rumpel slowly takes his hand away and smiles. Though he insists on hearing me out, I insist on the opposite. For now, I want to keep what I discussed with Parfait and Delora to myself. I still need time to process it. But tonight, I just want to forget that the conversation ever happened. For some time, the two of us are silent. There are no words exchanged between the two of us, but the silence is comfortable. And eventually, Rumpel puts a hand on my shoulder. Things will work out, Princess. Hope so. I stand and excuse myself. Good night, Rumpel. Turn and walk away. Good night, my sweet princess. You're so cute. That was wrong, though. Remain silent. Apparently, my problems. Why would he want to know about my problems? I understand what it's like, princess, to have a secret stuck inside of you. to want to keep things to yourself because you're worried that someone will prove you wrong. But you can always talk to me about it. Why are you so interested in my problems? I told you before that the best thing you can do is listen to a person. That's how you learn to sympathize. Besides, I honestly care about you. I will always listen to you, princess. Alright. Next chapter already? Muddled Truths. How many chapters were in Claude's route? I don't remember. And you, my little sunflower, are just as radiant as always. Oh, my Rumpel, you're so sweet. It's like that whole thing with Bria never happened. He's back to flattering every woman he meets. Overthinking again, princess. I turn to see Karma grinning at me from where he sits at a table. Surprisingly, he is sitting with Jurian and Garland today. We're arguing about some kind of nightstands. It's none of your business. No, it's not, but you have such a sad look on your face I had to ask. I'd appreciate you not staring at my face. I don't need to stare to see you're in distress. I turn on my heels and begin to walk away, irritated. Even when I am among other people, it is impossible to forget the conversation I had with Parfait and Delora. It hovers at the back of my mind constantly. We have not spoken again since then, yet even now, I am still taking in what they told me before. My mother, the Tenebara barrier, and me, a witch. The reason others have always feared me is because of my blood. I suppress a sigh as I attempt to return to my work. As the days go by, I notice myself becoming more and more agitated. Half of it is the recent history lesson, and the other half is Rumpel's flirting with other women. How can he just snap his fingers and get over Bria so quickly? If he flatters every woman, does that mean he does not really mean a thing he says to me? I gather the plates off the counter and put them on a tray and take them to customers. Today, everything feels mechanical. For the last few days, I have been noticing that I walk more stiffly, and that if I walk too quickly, my vision blurs. Probably because of my overthinking. I stumble as I bring a tray to a familiar customer. The man looks up at me and asks if I'm okay, and I murmur that I am before walking off. The blurriness comes back. What is wrong with me? I look over at Rumpel, who sat at a table with two girls because his shift is over. Rather than boil over on the inside, I feel myself getting warmer on the outside. My skin feels clammy. I have to force myself to take a breath as I get the next round of orders. My last order for the day is for one of the girls at Rumpel's table. I don't want to go over there. I start carrying the tray toward the table, biting down on my lip as the sway comes back into my step. As I draw closer, I notice Rumpel and the girls laughing about something. I grit my teeth and pause in front of them to lay down the tray. This isn't mine, it's my friend's. Yes, I was the one who ordered the soup. Then take the fucking thing and then just hand it over to her. Damn. The two stare at me. Instead of handing the soup off, they wait for me to move the bowl. Are you for real? But before I can reach over and move it, Rumpel slides it over to the other girl himself. For a few moments, there is a fragment of a scowl in his face. How are you doing today, my sweet princess? When I think about speaking, the words catch feebly in my throat. I turn and walk off. Princess? Still as cold as ice. Title Ice Princess definitely suits her. How can you dote on her, Rumpel? Despite the numbness of my mind, I still feel angry. I turn around so quickly that I make myself stumble. I feel myself teetering on the edge of falling, but something stops me. Warm hands reach out to grab mine before I can fall. Through my dizziness, I can see Rumpel standing in front of me. Princess, look at me. No. He puts a hand under my chin and angles my head so I can see him better. The expression on his face is suddenly serious. He looks at me for a few moments before he places a hand on my forehead. Princess, you have a fever. A really high fever, actually. You should go back to your room and rest. I'll drop by with some medication in a few minutes after I say goodbye to these ladies. I'm fine. My voice comes out hoarse. Trying to clear my throat only makes me feel more miserable. Princess, you're not fine. You look like you're about to collapse. I will not collapse. I'm stronger than that. Mother taught me how to be strong. Mother. My thoughts became, I didn't see it. Once again, my mind wanders, but this time I cannot keep myself steady as I try to walk away. Putting one foot in front of the other proves to be too difficult, and I once again feel myself start to stumble. Then I feel warmth, this time arms instead of hands. Sweet princess, what am I going to do with you? Oh, that is cute. Before I can understand what is happening, I am lifted off of my feet. I feel an arm supporting my back and another supporting me beneath the crook of my knees. Warmth. Such a nice warmth. You really are stubborn, aren't you, Princess Michiko? I guess I'll just have to carry you up myself. We're too weak to scrambles, though. Lean against him. Crap it. That's probably wrong, but who cares? My body is so weak anyway. Even if I wanted to struggle, I would not be able to. I slowly lean my head against his chest. Is that right? Did I choose right? Princess, you can see that you need help. No. Still so stubborn. There is an distinctive murmuring behind him that it probably belongs to the girls. Rumpel responds to them in a low voice. Stubborn she may be, but my sweet princess is stronger than any other woman I've ever known. So warm. But not as warm as you are right now, princess. No, that was wrong, but I wanted to lean against him. I struggle, I guess. I cannot just let him carry me up like this. I attempt to move away from him, but my whole body is weak. It is all I can do to try to roll out of his arms, but even that does not work. If you fall, you'll get a bump on your head, you know. I'm not weak. I don't need anyone taking care of me. There are voices, an indistinct chattering behind him that belongs to the girls. Rumpel speaks in a low voice. Stubborn she may be, but my sweet princess is stronger than any other woman I've ever known. He pulls me closer to him, and I feel his chest at my head, then his heartbeat. I know you're a strong princess, stronger than anyone else even, but because you're so strong, I know you'll never admit to needing help. Oh, that's why I'm going to help you without your permission. I'm sorry. Slowly I let myself settle in his arms. I lean my head into his chest and listen to his heartbeat. It is gentle, sweet sound that makes me feel like drifting into slumber. Alright, guess that wasn't as bad. His voice slowly begins to fade out as I close my eyes. For the time being, I stop caring about everything else around me. I forget about Mother, about my talk with Laura and Parfait, about the crystal, the merchant, and I focus on Rumpel. Is it so selfish to want to be the only person held like this by him, even when he was engaged to someone before? Slumber slowly reaches up to claim me, darkness intermingling with warmth. In that last moment, I think I see Rumpel smile at me. Oh, Mother, I had to tell you about the fairy tale that the children read to me today. Chica, what did I tell you about the fairy tales? There was a princess, just like me. She found her prince charming, and fairy tales are not real. They make really good stories, Mother. They are false stories. Do you really think it would be so easy to live happily ever after? No, but fairy tales make things black and white. Real life is full of grays. Black and white? Good and evil. No one is totally evil, and no one is totally good. Even princes are not completely just. So princes and princesses can be bad? Michiko, everyone has darkness to them. The princesses that throw themselves into danger are not selfless. They seek wealth, fame, or power. You see, fairy tales are lies because no one is so selfless and so full of love. People are two-faced. Trust no one. Yes, Mother. No one will love you like I do. To find pure love like that is impossible. But Mother, you're so wrong. I slowly blink my eyes open. For a few moments the room is blurry and there is nothing but vivid colors before my eyes. My eyes feel heavy, my throat scratchy. I stifle a cough, but as I blink back tears, and then through my tears I notice a slight motion. Rumpel? Rumpel was slumped in the chair in front of my bed, his head lowered to the side, his eyes closed. He murmurs something in his sleep and then shifts. What's he doing here? I notice a notebook on his lap. And what is that journal? I slowly slide my hand out from underneath the covers and reach across the bed. Right as my fingers are about to brush the cover, Rumpel's hand suddenly falls on mine. Looks like you're feeling better. No, give me that journal. He folds his hand away along with the book before carefully setting my hand back down on the covers. At least you look better, but how do you feel? Better? Rumpel looks tired, but his smile is still there. Oh, I won't believe it until I see it. You just said I looked better. That's my own analysis, but you, my sweet princess, don't sound very convinced. My throat is a little sore, and I think if I stood up, I would fall over. Why do you look so surprised? You would usually never admit to such a thing, would you? You're still most definitely sick. Rumpel leans forward to put a hand on my forehead. His hand is cool on my hot skin. My eyes lock as he tests my temperature. After a few moments, he finally peels his eyes away from me and sits back in his chair. Your temperature is down, but you definitely need the rest, princess. You should go back to sleep. And what? Will you just sit there and watch me? The words come out curter than I mean them to, and for a few moments Rumpel looks surprised, and he laughs. Princess, I haven't just been staring at you, I've been writing in my journal too. You have such a scary look on your face. Not that it isn't enticing, but I think your smiles are much better. I sigh as I close my eyes for a few moments. I fight to put my scrambled thoughts together, but one thought in particular keeps resurfacing. For some reason, I cannot help but remember the snide woman standing by Rumpel's side, cheering at me earlier. I open my eyes and look at Rumpel. Those women from earlier. I'm so used to saying woman because they often say woman, but now it's women. Alright, I apologize for their impoliteness. The things I said to you were uncalled for, and I told them that. You flirt with women like that all the time, but why? They're not even good people. Not good people, but, well, I suppose they act differently when you're there. Princess Michiko, you're blind to their jealousy, aren't you? They're jealous of me? Why? My mind turns over what they could possibly be jealous about as my eyes fall on Rumpel. I remember the way he defended me to the women. Is it because you're my partner? It's a lot more than that. It's your grace, the noble way you carry yourself. They would never think I had those qualities. But where else would their jealousy stem from? They're just jealous that I take your attention away from them. Princess, I think even if they were nice people, I don't see how you can flirt with them when you were just recently in love with someone else. Normally I would stop talking, but the words continued tumbling out of me. Uh-oh. I do not understand how someone like you who had a fiancé could still be flirting with girls. How can you love someone if all you do is flirt with other girls? Flattery is one thing, but you cannot just flatter every girl. Why are you still smiling at me? I may not remember a lot of things, princess, but I know for certain that whatever feelings I had for Bria vanished a long time ago. Not a few, a long time ago. The good ones, at least. Rumpel. The words break apart as I start coughing. Don't rile yourself up over this. Please rest. I slowly lean back into my pillows with my eyes half closed. Why do I even care about what Rumpel does? Why does it bother me that he flirts with other girls? That is his business. Rumpel pulls the covers up closer to my chin and smiles. Just because I flatter other women, that doesn't mean that I can't love someone. You always say some woman has stolen your heart, but your heart cannot belong to everyone. Yet you told me you always speak the truth. Maybe that in itself is a little white lie, just some harmless dramatics. But most girls know that I'm being dramatic, princess. They don't take my words so seriously, even if I do mean my compliments. He stares at me for a few moments, thoughtful. Does it bother you so much that I compliment other girls? Of course not! Though it will be difficult to hold my tongue, I will do it for you, princess, so don't worry. Why would he do something like that for me? My eyes are suddenly so heavy I have no choice but to close them as I let out a deep sigh. My head is beginning to hurt again. Behind my closed eyelids, I can hear a soft shuffle as Rumpel moves in his chair. Right before I fall back into the darkness of sleep, I feel something warm and soft on my forehead. Rumpel? A goodnight kiss. Oh! His words are quiet, and I can only just barely make them out. I cannot think on them because the pull of the sleep is much too tempting. Yeah, sleep's good. Especially if you're sick. Sleep's the best medicine. It takes a while, but after several days, Rumpel finally allows me to go back to work. I cannot remember much of what happened when he was watching over me, especially that first day. It is all a little bit of a blur now, like it was all just a dream. Oh, princess, back up on your feet. Yes, I am fine now. Oh, what a relief. Last I saw you, you looked quite pale. When? I dropped in to check on you in your room, but Rumpel was there. He told me that he had everything under control. Why did you need to check on me? Because I was worried, of course. Maybe you've been working too hard. No, I'm fine. Just tell me what things need to be done. Are you sure you're okay? She's fine, Denise. Delora suddenly appears before me, smirking. The princess is sturdy and a little too stubborn to let a little sickness get her down. I have not spoken to Delora, poor face, since that night where they decided to tell me about Mother. Just thinking about what they told me, it puts me on edge. Oh, princess, what a sour face, or expression. Allow me to calm you down with a little lullaby. Excuse me? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. No. No, don't do this to me. Anise, give me those work orders now. Up above the world so high. Anise! Oh, the tables on the west are yours, Princess Michiko. I quickly walk away from the bark and catch only the last little bit of Dolores singing. Like a diamond in the sky. She sang that the night I was cursed. Hearing her sing it again is infuriating and quite creepy. No lie. Okay. Well, this is where we're gonna stop for today. I feel like Rumpel's route is quick in store progression wise, but not in like not breaking my curse wise. So it is making me quite excited to see how I'm gonna get these good deeds, because Rumpel, he already has like 2 of his memories coming back, so his memory is getting quicker than ours. So does that mean he's gonna get his memories before us, and then we're gonna feel sad because then we're kind of left behind or some sort? I have no idea. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.